Okay, I'm going to show you how to write a fill-in-the-blank quiz that reports the score as a percentage. So what we need is a bunch of questions. So we'll have maybe 5 questions here. So we'll get 5 questions, and we need to check the answer. And we also need a score. Now, before we ask any questions, we have to establish our score as 0. So before writing anything, they have a score of 0. We're going to ask 5 questions, check the answers, and if a particular answer is correct, so if it's right, if correct, then we're going to add to score. Add to score. And then at the very end, we want to turn the score into a percentage. So you want to take the score divide by the number of questions, and then multiply by 100, and that'll convert our score into a percentage. So let me show you how to do that in Python. Okay, so to start off, let's start with a comment saying this is a 5-question quiz. And we start out with a score equal to 0. And now let's ask question 1. So it'll be and A stands for answer. So A is going to be what the person types in. And my first question is going to be capital of Canada. So I'm not feeling particularly creative today. I'm going to do a bit of geography here. So the person's going to type in their answer to what they think the capital of Canada is. And if their answer is equal to Ottawa, or their answer is equal to Ottawa, then score is equal to score plus 1. So I'm going to add to the score if they say Ottawa or Ottawa. Okay, then I just need 4 more questions here. So now my answer is capital of the United States of America. And now I'm going to show you a little trick. I'm going to take the answer and convert it to lowercase. And when I do that, then I don't have to check both Washington with a capital W and a lowercase w. I just make it lower. And then if their answer is equal to Washington, then score is equal to score plus 1. Now notice I did this differently than the last one just to show you another technique. You can add 1 to score by saying score is equal to score plus 1, or you can write score plus equals 1. That will increment, that is add 1 to score. Okay, so question 3. A is input. And let's keep going with capitals, I guess. Capital of Argentina. And now if their answer, well, let's convert to lowercase. And if their answer is Buenos Aires, That was silly of me. I got to make that lowercase because I just converted the answers to lowercase. There we go. So if their answer is equal to Buenos Aires, then score plus equals 1. So I add 1 to the score. Now, see this indentation? That's a mistake. That shouldn't be there. Check your indentation level. So if there's an if statement, the conditional code that's to run if that if statement's true should be indented 1 level from that. So I'm up to 3 questions here. A equals input. What is the capital of I don't know how to spell the answer to Brasilia. That's the capital of Brazil. Oh, I'll go for it here. What is the capital of Brazil? And then A equals A dot lower. And then if their answer is equal to Brasilia, then score plus equals 1. So I'm up to 4 questions here. And so now let's say A is the answer to what? What is the capital of England? And A equals A dot lower. If their answer is London, score equals score plus 1. So again, there's no reason to do that. I could write score plus equals 1 or score equals score plus 1. And at the very end, let's print. You got score out of 5. Easy, Sunshi. I don't know if you can hear my dog growling in the background. She's growling at people that walk by. All right. So let me run that and then compare that to the out question. And I don't think we're all the way there. And it does not like something. Let's find the problem. Oh, yeah, missing a comma. That you can't concatenate a string with a variable. You need to separate them with a comma, or I could use a plus sign as well. That would turn it into a single string. All right, here we go. So what is the capital of Canada? Let me get this wrong. I'll call it Toronto. Capital of USA, Washington. And I used a capital there. Capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires. Capital of Brazil, Brasilia. And the capital of England is London. And I got 4 out of 5 because I thought the capital of Canada was Toronto and not Ottawa. Okay, I'm not entirely done because if you look closely at this question, sorry, not very good with whiteboard here. Here we go. I look closely at this question. Write a fill-in-the-blank quiz that reports the score as a percentage. So look at what's happening here. We have a score of 0. We ask a question, and we take the answer by writing input, and it goes into variable A. And then if it's correct, we add to our score. Same thing for all the other questions. And then at the very end, we're just printing the score, and we know it's out of 5. Now, let's convert that to a percentage. So I'm going to use P for percent. And P is equal to score divided by 5 and then multiplied by 100. Now, it's not going to round it. It might not look all that great. So let's run it, and then we'll round it after if we need to. And now let's tell them that is 0.00 P, let's not forget that comma this time, percent. All right, let's run this now. Okay, capital of Canada, Ottawa, USA, let's say New York, we'll get that one wrong. Capital of Argentina, Buenos Aires. Capital of Brazil, Brasilia. Capital of England, London. Okay, so you got 3 out of 5, and that is 60.0%. I don't really like that. It should just say 60%. So let's round that. So back in my code, I'm going to round P. And you can do it all in one line, but I'll show you in separate lines. I think it'll become clearer to you. P is equal to round P. Now, it would be a mistake to just write round P and assume that P is rounded. You've got to make P equal to a rounded version of itself, right? So let's get a few more right here. Ottawa, Washington, okay, so let's get some wrong. So let's say the capital of Brazil is Rio. Well, it's going to say wrong no matter what, because I probably spelled that incorrectly. And capital of England is London. So we get 4 out of 5, and that is 80% as required. Okay, so to write a quiz, we start out with a score of 0. And then we ask our questions, and within each question, if we get the correct answer, we add to the score. And then at the very end, we take the score, divide by the number of questions, and multiply by 100. So let me just let you look over that code again. So we've got a score of 0. And now here, A is going to be equal to whatever the person types when you say A equals input. And then right after that, you can write the question, the prompt for the person to type. And now I'm checking two things. If A equals Ottawa or Ottawa lowercase, then we're going to add to the score. We ask the capital of USA. We convert it to lowercase. And now once you convert it to lowercase, make sure you check all of your things in lowercase. If I made that a capital W, after converting that to lowercase, it would always say it's wrong no matter what we said. Okay, and then this is just sort of repetitive. Remember, you can add 1 to the score by saying score equals score plus 1 or score plus equals 1. Also notice I'm adding to the score on a line that has been indented. You indent that with a single tab, and that kind of binds that line of code to the if statement above it. So only if that statement is correct will it do that. And you can have multiple lines of indented code, all of which will only run if that condition is true. So that takes us down to the end. They're all pretty much the same here. Takes us down to the end, and I'm printing you got score out of 5 because I know there's 5 questions, and I've been adding to the score every time they're correct. Then I wanted to display it as a percent. So if my score is out of 5, I divide by 5, multiply by 100. That's going to give me my score as a percent, and then I'm rounding it because usually when you score something out of a percent, you don't keep decimals. And so finally, at the very end, I'm printing out what the score is as a percentage. And I hope this helps.